Hey guys, welcome back to FPL Trinity video. In this video, I'm going to be looking at a wildcard draft which I have put together for those FPL managers currently on wildcard for Gameweek 8. So if you're new around here, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel. Otherwise, let's jump into it. So let's have a look at the season ticker as well, or the fixture list for the next game week and onwards. Because when you do wildcard, it's really important you have your fixture ticker and look at players who has good fixtures for the next 6 to 7 game weeks. Especially when you're on wildcard, you're looking at long-term fixtures. If you look at this season ticker, which I took from Fantasy Football Scout, you can see that Southampton is right at the top of the fixture list. That's why players like Adam Armstrong should be in your consideration, who is just 6 million in the game. He could have a good run of fixtures from game week 8 or all the way till game week 12, and he could also help you save some money and invest elsewhere in your team. Another team to look at, of course, is Chelsea, and their run of fixtures from game week 8 onwards to all the way to game week 12 is absolutely fantastic. So if you want to have a defender or a double up on defense, or if you want to go for a striker like Lukaku, is absolutely fine. And Leeds as well, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich, all good fixtures for Leeds. So players like Rafinha, Bamford, if he's fit and is coming back for game week 8, you could double up on Rafinha and Bamford. Probably I wouldn't invest much in their defense because we know they haven't really defended as well as they have scored goals, or usually that's how Leeds play. So attackers are the ones I'll be looking at. Other ones on this list includes a team like Man City. They got Burnley up next in game week 8, which is great fixture for defense and attack. But after that, again, they have Brighton and Crystal Palace. United is the only red fixture on that list. It's still a derby match, so I wouldn't expect a lot, but Man City players, a good one to invest in your wildcard. Also Brentford, they are going into a great run of fixtures, starting with Leicester in game week 9. So if you ignore game week 8 for Brentford, so likes of Tony and Bomo or their defense, if you ignore game week 8, by the way, they could still get points in game week 8, but Chelsea is a tough fixture, but they are playing at home, Brentford, so they could come out with some points. Tony and Mbumo, great fixtures from game week 9 onwards. So if you want to save a transfer later down the line, it's a good idea to have one of these players in your draft or in your wildcard team for game week 8. Another thing to note is that on these wildcards that I'm going to be showing you is based on the team value that I've got at the moment for my team. So it could be different for your team. So if I'm short of 0.1 million or 0.2 million in my drafts, you may be able to actually afford that player because your team value might be better than my team value currently. So this is a draft 1. In this draft, I'm assuming that Trent Alexander-Arnold is available to play in game week 8. As you can see, he's currently flagged and he's got a chance to play, I would assume. So, and therefore I'm going to be keeping him in this wildcard in my team because long term he's someone who I need to bring back into my team. So if you look at my team, you can see that I haven't got Trent Alexander-Arnold at the moment. That's because I wildcarded in game week 7, and in game week 7 we knew he was injured and therefore I took him out. But going forward, I believe he's someone who can really get you a lot of points, and if you can keep him on your wildcard draft, I think that's a really good idea. So let's go back and have a look at the first draft that I've put together. So in this draft, I've gone with 2 goalkeepers in Sanchez and Ramsdale. So here is an area where you can save money. If you are tight on certain players for your wildcard draft, you can certainly have just one of these goalkeepers, or you can go for another goalkeeper like Raya from Brentford as well. But for me, I think Sanchez and Ramsdale looks good, and the reason I've gone for both of these goalkeepers in my draft is because you are not going to wildcard until after, let's say, game week 25 or even 30. So based on the long-term view, I would have both these goalkeepers in my team. Like I say, if you don't want 2 goalkeepers on your wildcard, you can just go with either Sanchez or Ramsdale or any other 4.5 goalkeeper that you like and have a good fixture, and just go with him and just go for a 4 million for it like a Forster. Now moving on to the defenders, as I said, I kept Alexander-Arnold, assuming he's going to be back for Watford game. But if you don't want to keep him again, if you look at the fixtures for Trent, it is Watford in game week 8, which is which is good. But after that, he's got United away, Brighton at home, West Ham away, and then Arsenal at home. So there is an argument for you to not have him on your wildcard for Game Week 8 or on Game Week 13 when he plays Southampton at home. I think that's when you really need him back around that fixture, because after that he's got a great run of fixture all the way till Game Week 26. So definitely someone you can bring back into your team. Otherwise, I'll just go for Chelsea defender in Rudiger and City defender in Cancelo in this team, and I've got a cheap defenders like Livermento and Veltman, who is 4.1 million and 4.4 million. So they are basically enabling you to get the money in the bank to make other moves in your team. So in the midfield, I've gone with Salah. It's non-negotiable. Salah is not going out of this wildcard team. He's going to stay. And I've gone with Rafinha, Mbeumo and Saka, and Brownhill as my fifth defender. He's just 4.4 million now, and you can keep him on your bench. So Mbeumo is a pick. If you look at the fixture, he's going to be facing Chelsea in Game Week 8. So that's when you can actually keep him on the bench if you want. But to be honest, Brentford is an attacking team. They could get something against Chelsea because Brentford is going to be playing at home. That's another thing to consider. So I know there are a lot of drafts where even I'm going to be showing you another draft where you have double Chelsea defenders. If you want to go that route, is absolutely fine. So Mbeumo, you can have him in this draft because right after Chelsea match, they've got a lot of good fixtures coming up. So that's when you want him. You can either go for Mbeumo or Tony. There is a way to bring Tony in and also have another premium midfielder in your team. So I'll come to that draft shortly. Then I've gone with Saka. So there is an argument again to have Emil Smith-Rowe, who is $1 million cheaper than Saka. You can either go for Saka or Emil Smith-Rowe. I think both options are pretty good. But if you look at the stats, Saka comes on top. Both of them are quite nailed at the moment in the team. I would say Saka slightly more nailed than ESR. But if you want to save another 1 million in your team, then yes, go for Emil Smith-Rowe. Moving forward, I've got Antonio, Jimenez and Lukaku as my strikers. I think Lukaku is straightforward. I think he's the choice for us, the premium forward that you have in the game at the moment. If you go Ronaldo, obviously people are wildcarding now to get Ronaldo and other United assets out of their team. So Lukaku comes in. He's got Brentford, Norwich, Newcastle coming up in the next few game weeks. Hopefully he won't be rested and he'll be playing, and if that's the case, I think Lukaku is a great pick. Then you can go for Jimenez. I think Jimenez again have great run of fixtures, and if you look at his fixture list all the way until game week 14, I think he's got great run of fixtures. Again, in this case, there is an argument if you want to go for Hwang, which is another 5.5 million striker playing up front for Wolves, who scored in the last game week as well. But you can go for Hwang, but for me, in my opinion, Jimenez is the nailed on player. He's gonna, when he's fit, we know he's gonna play 90 minutes. He's on penalties as well. So for me, it's Jimenez. Kept Antonio in this draft, but you don't need to. You can take Antonio out because if you look at his fixtures, he's got Everton, Tottenham and Aston Villa away. I think these three are okay to keep, but if you are on wildcard and if you don't have much of the value tied up in him, he's currently 8 million. I think when I bought him he was 7.5, but if you want to take him out, it's absolutely fine. You can go for someone like Tony. So at this stage I'm just going to jump into another draft. So if you go Tony and save another 1 million on there, you can take Mbeumo out for Son, for example. So if you put in Son, you need 1.6 million in. So at this stage, what we are thinking is, okay, maybe Saka can go for Smith-Rowe, for example. If you want to keep Alexander-Arnold, and you can still see there's we are still short of 0.7 million. So at this stage, maybe you can downgrade Cancelo to another Chelsea defender like Christensen, but I don't think Christensen is that nailed. Maybe James when he's back. Currently it's 5.5 million James. So if he goes down a bit, if you're lucky, maybe, and he starts playing games, then yeah, you just point one shot, which you can make up by taking Blackman out for somebody like Duffy, who is also currently set to rise in price. If you do something similar, I think that's quite set for the next few game weeks. The only thing with Son is, as I mentioned earlier, like he's got Newcastle away, which is a great fixture, but after that, difficult fixture for him, and then Gameweek 2 onwards, he's got great fixture. That's when I definitely want Son back, or Son in my team. But if you look at this draft, if you have a team like this, you know you're already set, and you don't have much changes to make in your team, so that's quite good. So you can still keep Jimenez, still have Lukaku, and you can go for Tony instead of Mbeumo. So you still have one representation from Brentford, and I think Tony would be a better pick as well. I know Mbeumo is scoring goals, he scored in the last one, but if I had a choice going forward, I think I'll go with Tony, because he is similar to Jimenez. He when he's fit, he's going to play 90 minutes. He's the talisman. He takes the pens. So there is a lot going for Tony, and the price that he is 6.3, I think is a great price. He could rise in price as well in the next couple of game weeks. So yeah, I think he's a great pick if you want to go with this sort of wildcard. Again, I'm tight on this budget because I've got 2 goalkeepers who are 4.5, but if you don't want that, go for that, you can obviously go for someone like Foster, let's say, and you can save 0.5 million there, so you're not struggling. Also, a player I wouldn't be taking out of my team is Rafinha. So Rafinha, there is a rumor that the Brazilian players are coming back late, and there is a chance after the international break, game week 8, he's going to miss Southampton away. There is a chance, but despite that, I think if you got a bench who can play, who can cover for Rafinha, I think I will still have him. That's simply because he is one of the best pick for that 6.5 million price bracket. And also going forward, I'm pretty sure that we will all need him back in our team. So it's better to have him in your team and save a transfer down the line. So that's it, guys. Let me know how you guys are doing with your wildcard tinkering at the moment, and please do comment and let me know if you prefer my drafts or if you have any comments on my drafts. I have already done my wildcard in Game Week 7, so I have similar team to what I was showing you today, similar drafts, except I don't have Son or Alexander-Arnold, but I do have the money to make those moves in the coming game weeks. So all the best, guys. Hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon. Cheers.